Yeah, bang bang roll. Some men I've met over the years, and I've seen them fight, and really hard men. Yeah, a guy in Queensway called Fred Rondell. Freddie Rondell was done for a spaghetti siege years ago, and he was about 5'8", 5'9", gold medalist in the Russian Olympics, I believe. Um, he was feared, mate. He was feared by the Richardsons, and the craze was, well, they was petrified of Freddie Rondell, mate. I mean, he was a bit of a bad, dangerous man, yeah. And the reason I say that is because when I was a young kid, I went to Queensway with a guy called Johnny Hunt, was my uncle Johnny Hunt, yeah, and went in a spill there, and I see this Freddie Rondell clear the spill in no time. I mean, he was knocking people out like he goes out of fashion. Then I get to hear from my uncle John what it was like. Grace feared him, Richardson's feared him. He used to do bits and pieces with Billy Hill. Uh, the man was an animal, yeah. He was an animal, Fred Rondell. Very dangerous. Another one from over that way was a very good mate of mine, uh, Alec Jones. Alec Jones, mate. Alec Jones, good fighter, mate. Good boxer, good amateur record, mate. 60 odd, 67 amateur fights. Good amateur record, can really have it. I was in a pub one day with him, and there was his two brothers called the Smiths, bald-headed guys, bullies around Queensway and Paddington. And Alex had enough of these two bullying people in pubs and all that, and he just walked in the middle of them and bang bang, mate, knocked some spark out. I've seen him knock people out with left hooks, right hooks, and this guy can have a right fight. He can have a right fight. So it's Alec Jones, yeah. Johnny Allen. Johnny Allen, mate. Everybody knows Johnny Allen, mate. Johnny Allen, uh, well, what can I say? He can march on, mate, John. He's Ladbroke Grove, Notting Hill, Paddock, and all around them areas, even South East London, all them knew Johnny Allen, mate. Short guy, powerful, can have a right fucking fight. He could have a right fight. He wasn't afraid of no man, built like a shithouse. Just can fight, mate. I see Alec Jones later on in years. Alec Jones had a fight with Johnny Allen on Scrubs Common. They met over there, and Alec Jones bashed him up. But Johnny Allen was a bit older then. But good fight, mate. Good fight. And these are people I've seen fight. I mean, there's loads of people that are a lot harder, but I've never seen them fight. Yeah. Cliff Fields. Cliff Fields, mate. Fantastic fighter, in and out the ring. Believe he could have a right fight. I mean, comparing him to Lenny McLean and people like that, and Roy Shaw, I should imagine that Cliff Fields was the better man. Personally, myself, I've seen Cliff Fields on the street. I mean, he used to work with me and Jimmy Tippett, and he can have a right fight. He could really have a fight. So he's there, mate. Cliff Fields, I mean, Lenny McLean. I've seen Lenny McLean in the ring. He can fight. I've never seen him out in the ring, Lenny. I've never seen Lenny out in the ring fight. Never. In the ring, yes. Never out the ring. He was a dangerous man in the ring. I mean, when he was like 15, 16 stone, that's when I was to spar with him. He wasn't so dangerous as he was when he got on the roids. When he was 22, 23 stone, yeah, the geezers was a handful and could have a right fight. But I've never seen him fight on the pavement. Roy Shaw, same really. I've never seen Roy Shaw fight on the pavement. I've sparred with both of these, Lenny and Roy, but both very hard men, can really have it. In my eyes, I don't really know between Roy and Lenny on the street. I'm not quite sure, mate. I would just say same with Johnny Waldron. Johnny Waldron, same thing really. In the ring, fantastic fighter. Out of the ring, he could fight, but I've never seen him fight out of the ring. I've never seen Lenny fight out of the ring. I've never seen Roy Shaw fight out of the ring, and I've never seen Johnny Waldron fight out of the ring. So, Alec Jones, Johnny Allen, and Freddie Rondell, I have. I've seen them fight out the ring, and they can fight, mate. And them three can really have it. Yeah. Billy Blundell. Billy Blundell. I mean, I've seen Billy Blundell fight on the street and in the ring, and on the street he can fight, mate. He can fight, Bill. A good fighter, a good hard man can really have it. Yeah. Can really have it. I mean, people like Sykes, Paul Sykes. I've never seen Paul Sykes on the street have a fight. They reckon Paul Sykes was an animal on the street and could really have it. Yeah. I've never seen that, Paul Sykes, but he was a handful, Paul Sykes. He could really have it. But on the street, I've never seen it. There's more people, not the same as Brian Cottrell. You hear stories about Brian Cottrell. Some people take the mickey out of Brian Cottrell, say he could fight 50 guys at once and all that. I've never seen it. Same as Matt Legg. I've seen Matt Legg in the ring. I've never seen him on a street fight. I've heard a lot of stories. I've never seen it. So he's not in my. He's there. I met Matt Legg can have a fight. I know about show that he can have a fight, but I've never seen it. So I'm on about people that I've seen fight. I've seen. I've seen quite a few people have fights on the street and can have it, mate, and can really have it. I mean, Colombo or Steve Richards. I've seen Steve Richards, right, have it on the street. And Steve Richards can really fight. Colombo. I see him knock two guys out in one of my shows in Acton Town Hall, yeah. When two guys who got a bit leery and thought Steve Richards and Steve Colombo was nobody. And he really smashed them. He really steamed into them like it was going out of fashion. And these guys weren't little guys. These guys were big guys, taking the big mickey out of him about Colombo this, Colombo that. He smashed them to pieces. So Colombo is a hard man in my eyes. You know. See who else have I seen? Who else have I seen fight? I mean, there's quite a few people I've seen fight. I mean, I've got things down here. Jimmy Wilkinson. I mean, there's a lot of people, I should imagine, on my podcasts who've heard of Jimmy Wilkinson. Jimmy Wilkinson was involved with the Wembley lot. I mean, with Bertie Smalls, who become a supergrass. Jimmy Wilkinson, I've seen him fight, and he can fucking fight, mate. He could have a fight, Jimmy Wilkinson. I mean, him and Colin Cracknell, they had a fight in the market. Colin beat Jimmy, but not by much, yeah. And he could really have it, Jimmy Wilkinson. Dangerous and also very dangerous man. I mean, he would he'd cut you to pieces in seconds. I mean, he stabbed me in the back, Jim, but that's beside the point. He is a very dangerous man, Jimmy Wilkinson. Colin Cracknell. In the ring could really have it. Colin Cracknell out the ring could really have it. I mean, Colin Cracknell in the foot market was one of the best fighters you could ever possibly see. The man kept himself 100% fit, and he could really fight. Could really fight. And there are a lot of people that I'm talking to now maybe not even know of Colin Cracknell, but Colin Cracknell could really have it. Could really have it. Even my mate Derek Pearce, another one, could really have it in the foot market. Dangerous man. Fight, mate. I've seen him jump off listers and have a fight with greengrocers, 2-3 greengrocers, no problem. The geezer's on the door with me in a couple of clubs, and he can have it, mate. I mean, Harry Holland, mate, even though he's a boxing promoter, Harry Holland can have a fight. I mean, he'd give me a job on the door of some clubs, and he can have it, mate. He can really have it. He can have a right fight. Talk about clubs. I mean, you've got Big Murray Bush here. Big Murray Bush, 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", built like a shed house. Massive man. Murray Bush. Been on more doors than anyone, I should imagine. Can really have it. Been in loads of films. Maury, an animal, animal. This man's an animal. Not Chappelle, not Chappelle. Good boxer, mate. Good fighter, good boxer. But this geezer can have it. Not Chappelle, mate. Can have a right fight. It can. You all want to fight him. Not Chappelle. I should imagine he's up in the top. He's could really have it, Nosha. Could really have it. I've seen him fight, mate, on the street, and yeah, mate, he could fight. He can have it. I mean, when him and Binden had a little row, he knocked Binden out in seconds, and and he's told Binden off a few times. He told John off a few times, and John he knew, and he just walked away and left it. He had to, because otherwise he'd get really hurt. I mean, in prison, I mean, there's loads in prison that I've really seen fight. Young Jimmy Tibbs, not young Jimmy, he's older than me, but I mean, Jimmy wasn't a bully, mate. Jimmy Tibbs was not a bully. Very quiet. The old man, massive, mate. You wouldn't want to fight the old man. The old man, Jimmy Tibbs. He can have a right fight. Was not flash. Didn't have to prove nothing. He was what he was. Very powerful. I've seen him get all the guys around the throats and just throw away like a bit of rag. You know what I mean? Yeah, he can have it, Jimmy Tibbs. The old man, young Jimmy. Fucking hell. I mean, he was in C room with me in Chelsea prison. He didn't have to prove himself to no one, mate. You see him shadowboxing, mucking about. But I've been told that he can really have it, Jim. I've never seen him fight. I've never seen Jimmy Tippett fight. Never see him fight. He didn't have to prove himself to no one. Tibbs can fight. Another one, Jimmy Tippett. I mean Jimmy Tippett. I mean, he used to be my trainer, but I've seen him fight. I've seen him fight on the pavement. I've seen him fight in spills. Jimmy Tippett can really have it. Fight, yeah, mate. He can fight. He can fight, mate. He can. I've seen him knock people out. Eyes are winking. When people say fight, what do they mean by fight? I mean, you can fight for an hour, just throwing each other all over the floor. But you can fight when, say, seconds. These people that I respect, that go bang bang all over, or I mean, you talk about, Manny Clark, mate, hard man. Don't stop once he's on it, mate. He's on it. He don't muck about. He will fight and until he's actually smashed to pieces. Manny Clark. Okay, he's been beat a few times in the unlicensed fighting, but believe me, Manny Clark can have it, and he's a dangerous man. Yeah, Manny Clark can. He's old man, Georgie Clark, mate. He can have it. I mean, as a kid, seeing him on the door with his Uncle Freddie Clark. Well, if anyone sort of like Google Freddie Clark, the old man, the old uncle, his granddad, he could have it, Freddie Clark, mate. As a man, you ain't gonna get no older man than Freddie Clark, mate. He could have it. I mean, as I say, Manny Clark, he followed his aunt, his granddad, his dad, and Manny Clark. All the family could have it. All dangerous, and I've seen them all fight. Everyone fight on the cobbles or whatever they can fight, mate. Can handle themselves. Manny Clark's up there, mate, and the old man, George Clark and Freddie Clark, they're definitely up there, 100%. I mean, that's how I met Cliff Fields on the door in the White Hart in Acton years ago. I didn't know it was Cliff Fields until I think it was Manny Clark that said something, and I couldn't believe it, that he was on the door. But yeah, Cliff Fields is one of the top men up there who's there. I've seen fight, who can fight. I've got so many written down who could really have it, on the streets and all that. I mean, people don't. The Supergrass, what do you call it? Was Bertie Smalls, yeah. I was at a club, Mickey Green's club, yeah, in Harrow, and I see Bertie Smalls have a fight there. And Bertie Smalls knocked three guys out, mate, Bertie Smalls. And these guys wasn't massive, but they weren't tiny. And Bertie Smalls smashed them to pieces. I mean, I'm on about fight as well. I'm on about just go crash, crash, crash. He had a fight with them, you know what I mean? He was knocking one down and knocking the other one down, the other one getting up and he was smashing into them. He had a few bottles over his head, Bertie Smalls. Even though Bertie Smalls was a supergrass, right, he could have it. And Bertie Smalls, because he did what he did as a supergrass, uh, everybody said they were going to kill him, but as he can have a really, really right fight, mate, you'd have to get behind him and put one in his nut, you know, because no one would fight him on the street. Believe Bertie Smalls, he could have it. Yeah, he could have a right fight. Bertie Smalls, um, Pat McCann, Pat McCann. Um, I see Pat McCann fight, mate. He could fight. I mean, I see him in the ring fighting, sparring around and all that game, hard as nails. But on the street, he could fight. He could really fight. I mean, when I say fight, he could knock your spark up. And really, I mean, when I say fight, I mean just not go out and bang it all over. I mean fight, proper fight, head, elbows, the lot, mate, kicking, punching, biting, nutting, everything. He can fight, Pat McCann. I've seen him fight, and he's a dangerous man, Pat. People underestimate him. There's loads out there, you know, like who can really, really have it, you know. I mean, everyone talks about Len, everyone talks about Roy and all them sort of people, but there's loads out there, mate. There's loads of people out there that can really fight. I mean, scaffolders, bricklayers, steel richters, them people don't say nothing, quiet people, but can fight, mate. People that have more comments, a lot of people in them sort of jobs that can really have it. I mean, the fruit market where I worked, you know, I mean, you got the Welleses, all the Welleses brothers are all ex-fighters, all 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". Georgie Wells, Billy Wells, Arthur Wells, Albert Wells, Charlie Wells, all them Welleses, yeah, could really fight. In the market, out of the market, Ginger Carlisle, another one, can fight. Martin Worsfold, my co-defendant, could really fight. Could really fight. I'm just saying, Martin Worsfold, he petrified the life out of me sometimes. Martin, he can fight. He could. I've seen him fight on the street. I've seen him fight in the ring, but on the street, I don't think there's a lot of people could beat him. Him and Conley Cracknell never really had it, even though they was always growling at each other. Martin was never ever bothered about Conley Cracknell. I think Martin might have beat Conley Cracknell about that. Johnny Wells, Ray Wells, his brother. Rest in peace, John. I mean, Johnny Wells was one of my pals. I don't know how true it is. Ray Wells said he beat Conley Cracknell up twice. I've never seen it. I've never seen Johnny Wells beat Conley Cracknell, but Ray Wells said he did. There's no reason for Ray to lie. And if Johnny Wells, I mean, me and Johnny Wells grew up together. I mean, we used to go down to a club called the Boathouse, the Castle, City Pieces, all them fight all the time. And we would fight, and now I've seen Johnny Wells fight. He would fight 3 or 4 guys without any trouble. And steam into him and have a fight. He wasn't a coward, never run away from it. Good man, Johnny Wells, mate, from Brentford. A mate of mine could really have it. He could really, really have it. There's so many, I've got so many down here. I mean, Ricky Curley. People must know Ricky Curley. I was in prison with Ricky Curley in Maidstone. Ricky Curley, oh man, mate. He used to spar with me, and he could hurt me, mate. Hurt me really time, real big time. And he could have it. I've seen him knock people out in Maidstone. And I've heard a lot of stories about Ricky Curley, and he could really have it, mate. Ricky Curley is up there, mate. Very dangerous, powerful man, and he's still as dangerous what he was then. Yeah, he's still dangerous as he was then. Um, who else have I got now? But no, Vicky Dart. Vicky Dart. Oh, I've never seen Vicky Dart fight. I've never seen Vicky Dart fight. I've heard lots of stories about Vicky Dart. Um, I've seen him. He's really powerful. Really fit. He trains like hell of a lot. I see him doing lots of kicks and all that, and kicking up. His legs are high up in the mountains. No, you know what I mean. But I see him on the bars, putting his legs up on the bars and stretching and all that, and powerful. 45 kilo, two 45 kilo, no, sorry, two 45 pound weights, doing sit ups, 10s, 20s, and all that, doing sit ups. The guy was a powerhouse. Yeah, I should imagine. I've never seen him fight on the street. But I should imagine Vicky Dart is an handful. Another one, mate, a proper hard man that wasn't afraid of no one, Vic. He wasn't afraid of anybody. I mean, while seeing him in Maidstone, he didn't care about who's who and names and all that. He didn't care. He was who he was. Very powerful, very dangerous man, Vicky Dart. Yeah. Who else? There's not. Do you know what, Mark? There isn't. I mean, there's loads of dirty people that I can put in here, but there's, in my eyes, Watkins, Mickey Blackmore. I'm going to put him as a fighter, mate. I've seen Mickey Blackmore on a rugby field. I've never seen Mickey Blackmore in the ring, but I've seen Mickey Blackmore on a rugby field knock two or three guys out, just went crazy. And Mickey Black was as nutty as a fruitcake. he was as nutty as a fruitcake. Once he went, Mick, he went, and no one would stop him. He'd just go, he had his own little thing, he'd go crazy and smash. He would go mad and just smash people to pieces as much as, honestly, he was mad. Who else? There's loads. The guy, when I first, as a kid, was in my YP, yeah. The guy I met in there that could really fight, and he's got a record like it goes out of fashion, was Malcolm Peace. Malcolm Peace, a friend of mine, could really have it. He was a dangerous man. Short, stocky, bang. He could fight. He wasn't afraid of anyone in my YP. That's how it starts, isn't it? People's names in the YP. There's loads of people in my YPs. The names I forgot, but they're heavy people that I forgot their names. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden you hear about it. I was away with him and this that. Yeah. But Malcolm Peace, hard man, mate. Hard man, Malcolm. Can really have it. Can really have a fight, Malcolm Peace. I've seen him chin people like it's going out of fashion. I had a book called Street Fighters by Julian Davis. I'm in it. There's quite a few fighters in it, yeah. Fighters that I'm going to get it, and sort of I was asking, these fighters in there that no one really talks about, that can really have it. Dorman and all that sort of thing. But I've had the book years. All of a sudden, Matt Legg phoned me up, asked me, do I know Malcolm Peace? I said, yeah. And I found him in my book. All them years I've had that book, and I never really looked at it like that, Malcolm then, but Malcolm Peace could have a right fight. Matt Legg, I've never seen Matt Legg have a fight. I heard a lot of stories about Matt Legg. Matt Legg's a very strong individual person. Would never ever say no to nothing. To fight AJ, even though he got his eye socket knocked out of his eyes of his socket, eye socket knocked out, and it stopped the fight. He went out there, give no respect to AJ. Even though AJ hadn't had many fights, 6, 7 fights as a pro, but he was up and coming. They wanted him to be world champion, this, that, and the other, and he was, and this, that, and he was number one. AJ, he was going places. But Matt Legg, to go out and fight AJ like that, just on quick notice, go out there like he did, to throw punches at AJ. And you've got to remember, AJ was a fantastic amateur, gold medalist and all that. I think it was gold medalist, wasn't he? I'm not quite, people are going to say that I'm wrong, it was more bronze and a bit, I think it was the gold. AJ was number one in England. To go out there like he did, Matt Legg, and to throw punches like he did at AJ, personally, I believe AJ was good, wasn't he? I mean, he just pushed it aside. But if any one of them punches of hit AJ on the chin, I feel that AJ would have been knocked down on the floor, maybe even stopped, because Matt Legg can bang. You know, there's proof of that when he hits a ball, he's smashing the machine. He's had a few rounds with people and he takes it easy, but it could hurt them, really hurt them. Yeah, Matt Legg, hard man, but I've never seen him. I've never seen Matt Legg fight. It's only what I've seen on the television with AJ and what people say. So Norman Butland, I mean, Norman Butland, you know, I've not even seen Norman fight. I mean, Norman's on the door now, you know, and I've seen Norman in the ring. I've not seen Norman on the street fighting, so I don't know. You know, it's only what people, most of these people that I've talked about, I've seen on the street, you know, and the ones who I haven't seen on the street, I respect them for who they are. You know, same as Norman, same as Matt, respect them both for the people they are, yeah. Yeah, but there are loads of people that we could talk about all day long, you know, like, but I can't say everyone. But Cliff Fields, yeah, mate, he's number one at the minute. No, not Cliff Fields, number one. I think really maybe I mean, Freddie Rondel, maybe, I don't know. You know, there's loads out there, mate. There's loads. There's so many fighters out there, but you can put number one, number whatever. But yeah, there's some fighters out there, mate. Tell me who you think. I mean, people you've seen fight, people that can see that can have a fight. You know, people that you know that you've seen fight on the street. Yeah, let me know. Yeah, bang bang rail, nice one.